Black pieces against the GM. Playing a GM, not sure who my opponent is, so let's see. It would be nice to, yeah, get a win for the gift sub. So we're gonna be playing the French, gonna be going for the Fornox variation. I don't know who my opponent is because he doesn't have his name on chess.com. But yeah, we're just gonna be playing the Fornox variation, and Grandmaster well aware of the Fury, goes knight g3 for the best line, plays rook e1, bishop to g7. Rook e1 is not most precise is b3 here, plays knight e5, but I think this is a bad line because of takes and knight and then queen d5. I think now actually black is better. Not sure how the line goes. I'm pretty sure it goes bishop f1 takes and then knight g4. Okay, he plays f3, but there's like a weird, some kind of knight g4 move, I think. I'm not sure. I just know this is good for black, but I'm not entirely sure on how it goes. He'll be going knight g4. Feels good. Bishop e4, I'm assuming there's queen c5. He can't take the knight, obviously, because of the mate. And also, like, the pawn on e5 is quite weak, and that's pretty much the main issue that white has in this position. So honestly, I think the evaluation should be like a -1 at this point, but still need to find some precise moves, I guess. He plays knight e4 finally. Queen d4 makes less sense now because of king h1. Bishop e4 though, how about that? How about that though? Like bishop e4, he goes fg. I think I like queen d4. I mean, obviously you can just take the free pawn on e5, but I think you can go for more. And then this is like only move, and then I was thinking to take queen d3 and then bishop e5 and win the pawn in that scenario. Could also castle long, so many good moves. Okay, long castle bishop e3, kinda complicated. Just gonna take and bishop e5, I guess, like I initially wanted. I think castling long is simplest. Bishop e5 is also like very good. Gonna take it right away. Black should obviously be completely winning. Question is, what do we do on bishop d2? Might have to play there. Bishop c3, queen f4, g3. So he's got bishop d2. That was actually super annoying, but he plays bishop e3 for some reason. Just queen there. I don't know, bishop d2 seemed tricky. Pretty sure I should have something, but okay, bishop d2 just take on b2 now. Perhaps just that. Simply c6 should be fine. One move away of castling. Yeah, shouldn't castle because he wins the exchange, but how about we just take the free pawn? That looks like a free juicer. Even though I'm not castled, I think my position is solid enough so I can afford to take there. I play queen g3, queen h4. Queen g3 wants g5 maybe. But I can keep it simple with this. And then just bishop back. And I'm pretty sure we win. We need to speed up a bit, but I think I've got this. Okay, rook e6 maybe works for him. I don't know. Gosh, what is this madness? Hey, we've won the GM, how cool. I mean, I totally messed it up, yeah. Shouldn't allow rook e6 there, but I mean, it was like pretty obvious. We've got completely winning position from the opening, which is like really nice in the Fornox. Facing a 24-45, plays e4. Yeah, we'll just try out the French defense. Gonna be going for the Fornox once again. See how he's willing to deal with it. Gonna get my knight into f6 on the next move, and against knight g3, just gonna be playing g6 again. Opponent plays queen e2. Again, not going for the best move according to Fury, which was b3. So we can just fianchetto, go short castle, and life is good generally. Yeah, I think I just like the same plan. Going bishop b7 and then c5 seems very easy to play and very effective. Like queen e7, c5 also could be an idea just to sidestep the rook file. Queen c8 also is like a fine move, don't get me wrong. I think we might even use queen c8. Same idea of going c5. b4 looks interesting for opponent. Might go c5 anyways. On knight e5, just c5 is like the standard reaction. Knight e7, knight d7. Yeah. Taking with a knight, taking with a pawn might also be fine, covering the d4 square. Actually thinking about it. But this is just like the natural move. We take, he plays bishop b1. Yeah, then we play a5, I think, trying to stop his queenside expansion. He takes with a bishop. Yeah, I don't think this is good. Maybe it's equal, but I don't think he should have done that move ever. Kind of have to trade. Gonna be doing it this fashion though. Has to activate my rook if he wants the trade. And knight e4, I think I go queen e5, pinning and hitting the pawn. Not saying it's the only way to go, but I think I kind of like that. Position is still like not simple. Maybe it's just equal. I thought I should be slightly better, but now that I'm looking at it, it seems very equal. Love to get f5, but then the pawn drops. He's also playing knight e4 next, which is like a little bit annoying. Just gonna play queen e5. Then like rook c8 with like b5 ideas. Goes there. Like rook and games are generally fine. See, like if there's like minor pieces, this could get dangerous, but like rook and games are even slightly better sometimes. What if I just go a6 b5? Ah, he wants to take and then go a5. Shit, I shouldn't have played a6, but okay, I mean, it's not a big deal. Could also do this and that. Yeah, I'll have to play a5 next. That is a good move. Because if we can like trade rooks, I think the endgames might be winning. Because I'm stopping his pawns. Yeah. I think black is now slightly better. I think if both rooks get traded off, black is winning. It's just, you know, intuitively speaking, it's not like I can ever calculate this or something, but he cannot really create a passed pawn and I can. And we go for this, wow. I don't think he should have ever allowed this, but okay. What do I know? King d6, king e4, maybe we go f5. If king f4, okay, but this e5. What is this? King c3 and then just king c5. And I think he's in like the Zugzwang. h6 g5 next. Yeah, I'm just creating a passed pawn now. It's pretty straightforward. Take king e3, yeah, king b4 wins. It just takes way too much time for him to do anything there. Yeah, I mean anything wins. Yeah, like easiest would be to just get the queen there. If he allows me to. It's not like he has a choice at this point. And he also resigns. Alright. Yeah, again, I'm not sure, but like intuitively speaking, the endgame feels losing. And okay, I mean, he should somehow keep rooks on the board with like rook c1 and he just suffers. It's just worse, but I mean, king and pawn endgame should be dead lost, and I think I showed why. Ooh, I mean, can play e4, king b4, king d4, anything wins. But like, I had a simple plan. I was about to do this. Let's say he takes. Then I was about to do this. And yeah, like, I don't know. Just gonna be sacking the pawn for the other pawns. And then we win. Very, yeah, easy and straightforward. Alright, we are paired against the FIDE master. And, it's actually an I, I'm sorry. We're gonna go like bishop d7, play the 4 knocks. Knight d7, knight f6. Okay, against queen e2, if he goes knight g5, we need to take. Okay, against this, we can obviously trade everything. Play knight f6, queen d5. Like we do in the Caro-Kann, queen e4. Plays queen f1, which is a thing. It's a bit dodgy though. I feel like black should be quite safe. I think we're just gonna castle long this time. Both ways I think are fine. King b8 you kind of play always. You don't defend the pawn. And now we just go all the way, I guess. I think we break with c5. Here we can use queen e4 this time. Maybe just knight d5. Idea to take. We just play bishop f6. I like bishop f6 more. This feels like the right time to play c5. Even though he might just take. Intuitively, it feels to be a good move. So like knight e3 would be the easy way to deal with this. Queen e3 we have queen c2, I thought. Ooh, that feels very, very shady. Like rook d3. This could be an annoying idea. We got queen e4, but maybe we just like double. And the thing is, if knight e5 we take and play rook d1. Oh, I missed that. Shit. But we have bishop b2, no? Or queen b2. Queen b2 is such a nice mate. Watch this, guys. Queen b2. This was so nice. I missed knight e1 as a move, but okay, he just resigned. Okay. Just resigns. Fine. That was a pretty well played game, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna hop into the analysis tab quickly. C5 felt like supernatural. Ooh, and then I had knight c3. Would have been such a nice move. Even though it's still not simple, what if... Oh, just win. Uh-oh, just win. Yeah, Miss Knight c3, that was a missed opportunity. Then I'm assuming it was... Yeah, it was winning. After rook d3 and then rook there. Play knight e1 and queen b2 is such a nice mate because he's got nothing to block other than the queen. And then we mate. We have an opponent who's rated 24. 84, and yeah, we'll just try out the French defense against knight c3. We're gonna be continuing with the same line, taking on e4, and yeah, heading for the Fornox variation with the idea to get rid of the typically bad French bishop. And you see that in this rating range we are already getting into the quote-unquote ultimate main lines. Yeah, of this variation, but I'm a little bit surprised that my opponent did not play bishop a3 first, because he would have won half a tempo after bishop b2, bishop g7, and then c4. So yeah, in this instance I'm just gonna castle. He goes rook e1, and I think the play here is just to go b6 and then c5. Yes, you can like take on f3 in some positions, I mean that's also doable, but I think it's just better to do it this way, the way that I'm doing it. So against a4, do we need a6? Just gonna play it. Feel it's like useful move generally. Has this type of ideas sometimes. Ooh, I can't draw arrows. Yeah, this type of ideas sometimes. I mean, I could have taken an f3 there, but yeah. Bishop b7 was anyways the point. Just gonna go b5, and now I'm assuming we take. Go like c5. Bishop a3. I can just move my rook. And now dc. I was thinking maybe there's like queen c7 move. There's also a pawn on a5 that maybe we can grab. He's got some c6, bishop f8 funny lines, but I don't think they really achieve that much. So I think I'll start rook c8 though. Might start this way. Rook c8, and in case he goes rook d1, I'm going queen a5 for real then. Okay, can we just grab that pawn, hitting the bishop? I kind of like that idea quite a lot. And then rook b7, queen a3, end up winning the pawn on c5. I think black should be better. Yeah, we just take the bishop, collect this pawn next. We have the outside passer. Opposite colored bishops, but I mean, this bishop is kind of supporting the pawn. If we can, yeah, get it rolling. Huge threat of knight c5, and then both pieces are gonna be under attack, so my opponent needs to be quite careful here, I would say. Not sure to make a move, really. Perhaps he just goes with the rook back. I think that's what I would do. Because it's not like the rook is gonna do anything there on b7, I think. I mean, maybe he can try like rook a7, but... yeah, he goes for it, okay. We managed to guess a move. Gonna take on c5, and he goes knight e5 this time. Putting pressure on f7, but... isn't that just winning another pawn for me? After knight e3. He's gonna have to take with a knight. And then I can go rook c4, he's got knight e5, hitting f7 once again. Yeah, I'm thinking just keep it simple, play this move so we can get rid of his annoying rook. And yeah, maybe this is not like the most accurate move, but I think it's simplest from a practical perspective. And I think we're gonna try to keep this pawn on the board with queen b5. We can take c5, of course, trade pawns, but I think we're just much better this fashion while the pawn is getting to b2. Then we go f5, win the c5 pawn, and should be easily winning. There is not much time that I have left on the clock, so we'll see. Yeah, just b2, f5, rook c5 next. Not really much my opponent can do to stop that. Rook c1. Yeah, just gonna go like there. And now e5. He can't take on b2 because of e4. We win the rook. Still same motive. I mean, he's kind of in a zugzwang. h4, maybe h5. Something like that. Opponent is like in a little bit of a zugzwang. Bishop h6 check in case of king e3. I'm just gonna go there. And it's like winning nevertheless, but I just got no time. Okay, I'm just gonna collect the pawn. Okay, now I'm winning. No, he's got it. Oh, okay, fine. That's fine. He got the stalemate. Starting off with a black pieces against the 25-50, almost. He's 1 point behind, but still. We're gonna go for the French defense and against knight c3. Yeah, gonna be playing the Fort Knox way, just getting the bishop to c6 and then knight d7 coming into f6. Knight g3 is like main. He's got knight e2 as an interesting move. He does play queen e2, meaning that we're gonna be having more of like an equalish position. But yeah, there's still play left, obviously. Gonna be castling short. I mean, in these positions, you can develop the bishop to either e7 or d6. I think both should be fine. Just gonna do it this way for the sake of simplicity, just going to e7 all the time. Like knight f6, queen d5 maybe. Hitting the pawn and then have like queen e4 ideas. Yeah, I mean he still has queen d2, but having queen d5 is kind of a decent move. Queen f5 also sometimes an idea, but I don't really love the fact that he's gonna be doubling the pawns. So I'm just gonna play rook d8 now. Ideally we'll be breaking with c5 eventually. On c5 I'm thinking he could perhaps go c4, but then I mean there's like a queen c6 move. He's got knight e5, queen c8. Looks like we're kind of retreating in that line, which yeah makes me not want to play it immediately. So just gonna go like rook c8 instead. Try to play like useful waiting moves. Yeah, just gonna drop my queen back. Queen c4 could also be a move, but it looks kind of strange. Just gonna go queen d7. This is a thing now. Knight e5 is a thing. This is also a thing since d1 is hanging. So yeah, just goes back. King of c5, then he wants to take. I'm gonna be making a bit of an awkward move. I'm gonna play queen e8, just preparing to push c5 and sidestepping the d file, pretty much. But notice that the queen is actually interestingly placed on e8 since it's not really blocking any of my pieces, so I think this could actually be sort of decent for us. On bishop g5 we can trade and play knight d5, even though I would say it's best to just break the pin with bishop e7, then have ideas of going knight d5. Should obviously speed up a bit, like b5 is also a move. This would be like the ideal scenario. If we can get into the minority attack, black might be even slightly better. I think we're taking with a rook. I don't know. Gonna go like h6 first, see what he wants to do with a bishop, and then perhaps go knight d5. In case of bishop f4, for example, gaining a tempo, and if he gives the bishop, I think we should be completely fine in the endgames. Gonna try to centralize, and yeah, as long as we are able to stop the pawns, should be fine. Just gonna play with like g5. On queen d2, maybe just queen d7. Okay, so just gonna play king g7. This could be an idea. Okay, bishop d4, knight e4, queen e5 with f5. That is the plan. This is kind of annoying now for my opponent. Also knight g3, I'll have queen e1 motifs and bishop f2 in case of queen f1. I don't know, his position looks kind of tricky to play now. Can we go for same? I mean, he wants maybe knight d2, I think. But still it looks like it just feels like we should go for it. Like f5, check. Okay, so he goes there. Pretty much same thing if queen e1, knight f1, but then I'm gonna be playing like, also he's not, but I mean queen f2, or even bishop takes. Because thing is, if queen b7, there's just a check and we can move the king. We're kind of mating. Yeah. 92, just gonna take and go same queen e1. He's still not avoiding checkmate. And yeah, we get a win. So yeah, that's pretty much how the bishop dominates the knight in the structures. That was actually like a super easy sort of game, winning against a pretty strong opponent like he's rated 2550. And yeah, you can apparently just win with a simple looking French by playing common sense moves, which I think it's like pretty nice. And more so, we're gonna quickly jump into the analysis tab. And yeah, I think by the way the game was super precise. I just want to check like the moment when I played. I think queen e8 was the interesting move. Let me actually make it that you can see the engine eval. So I took on e4, went for the fourth knocks, as I was saying, like knight g3 is the main move, knight d2 is another kind of interesting line. Goes queen e2 though, end up trading, playing bishop e7 as I was saying, like you could do both. Bishop d6 is also fine, but for like sake of simplicity I'm just developing to e7 pretty much all the time. And I went queen d5, kind of hitting the pawn. He went a3, rook d8. As I was saying, like queen f5 is usually a mod f, but I wasn't necessarily happy about the fact that my opponent can actually double the pawns. And I just decided to stick to normal play. Here's c5, I was really considering it, but I thought like c4, queen c6. Knight e5 should be slightly problematic. Apparently d5 is the issue though, because we can't take since the bishop drops. So this would have been really bad for us. So c5 was not just yet a thing, so he had to prepare it. And I think his mistake was really going rook e5. And to be fair, I've slightly considered this move during the game, but I was like, that is like a patzer move. You never even consider this kind of things, right? But the engine apparently loves it. Just go queen a2. Obviously the point is white can't play rook a1 and trap the queen, because you just take. And like point after queen a2 is there's actually suddenly a threat of bishop takes, since queen's actually there. And next up we're getting c5, and apparently black is completely fine. But usually when you have a choice between moves such as queen e2 and simple strong moves like queen d7, I mean just go for queen d7 since it's always good, and queen e2 can, you know, lead to resignation soon if you miss something. So I went queen d7, he went rook back because the rook was really pointless there. I was threatening already the bishop to d6 and winning the exchange because the bishop would have been remained undefended. And yeah, after rook e1, really wanted c5, but I had to, yeah, just sidestep that file. And then I think we just got like an equal game. Bishop g5, bishop e7 was strong, breaking the pin. Yeah, and again, like we're just very safe in this endgames, usually with bishop against knight. If in like these positions, let's say we have a knight on f6 instead of the bishop, I think that is also like defendable. But perhaps white has better chances with this 3 against the majority, at least like practically speaking. So you normally want to have this endgame, but with like queens or with like queens and rooks. So it's gotta be like heavy pieces. And sometimes black is even slightly better because we managed to deliver like the minority attack and create a weakness. So yeah, with minor pieces, you've got to be careful here because white's got a little bit of a push in the long run. And just the fact that they can create an outside passer and then win all your kinside pawns is like pretty OP. So he went a4 though, and then we managed to stop the pawns. I think g5 was like an interesting move, maybe not most precise, but it just feels like, you know, Should have apparently played g4, which is not a move that anyone would make. Because if he doesn't, then this is already like a thing to expand even further. And I liked what I did with bishop d4, queen e5. I mean, he should be fine, but he already has to find like an only move. Like, you remember how the endgame started. Like 5 moves ago, we had this seemingly looking equal position, and 5 moves later, yeah, white has to find an only move, which luckily he didn't. So he just played queen f3. But after the simple move, even if he goes knight f1, like for the better defense, we can just move king up, and he's in like sort of a zugzwang. He doesn't really have any queen moves. His queen is stuck to defend, doesn't have king and knight moves, and I don't really know what the plan is to make progress here. Apparently, like, the computer even considers going like a5 and just try to bring the king over. Something like this. It's like pretty funny. But other than that, I think we can just go e5, e4. Something. Black is just like much better. So, yeah, and the rest was pretty simple.